everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tea and Tolkien Thursdays. Today, I present to you a miniature podcast episode, which will be available for you to enjoy while I get all the other podcast episodes ready for viewing. And if you're new to this channel, be sure hit that subscribe button to get more content from me. Let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the essay about how The Lord of the Rings became popular during the 1960s. We are now wrapping up the series, yet there's one more thing that we have to discuss before we move on to how The Lord of the Rings influenced 1970s pop culture. So, let's get started. The surge in popularity of The Lord of the Rings during the 1960s had a profound impact on the genre of fantasy literature. It paved the way for a new wave of fantasy writers and established the template for epic fantasy storytelling. Authors like Terry Brooks, Stephen R. Donaldson, and Robert Jordan drew inspiration from Tolkien's work, leading to a flourishing of the genre in subsequent decades. The 1960s also marked the beginning of serious academic interest in Tolkien's work. Scholars began to explore the linguistic, mythological, and literary aspects of The Lord of the Rings, leading to the establishment of Tolkien studies as a legitimate field of academic inquiry. This academic recognition further solidified the book's status as a significant literary work. The rise of The Lord of the Rings to widespread popularity in the 1960s can be attributed to a confluence of social, cultural, and historical factors. The socio-political climate and the countercultural movement provided a receptive audience for Tolkien's themes of resistance, community, and environmentalism. The availability of affordable paperback editions made the book accessible to a broader readership, while fan communities and media adaptations played crucial roles in sustaining and expanding its popularity. The legacy of this period is evident in the lasting impact of The Lord of the Rings on literature, culture, and academia. The 1960s were a pivotal decade in the journey of The Lord of the Rings, from a niche literary work to a global cultural phenomenon. Thank you for enjoying this three-part essay, which highlights the rise of The Lord of the Rings from a relatively unknown book to a huge literary juggernaut. But that's not all, because next week, I will be talking about the many attempts to turn The Lord of the Rings into a movie, before it became a successful series of movies made during the years 2001 to 2003. Stay tuned.
Well, that's all for this week's podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to look out for more episodes from me. And if you want more content like this, then subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next week with another episode.